What if I told you that everything you believe about your education, the reason you sat in rows, the reason a bell told you when to think and when to stop thinking, the reason you were graded like a product on an assembly line, was not an accident? What if the entire school system you grew up in wasn't designed to make you smarter? What if it was designed to make you obedient? Stay with me. What you're about to hear isn't a conspiracy theory. It's documented history. And once you see it, you cannot unsee it. Welcome back. Today we're pulling back the curtain on one of the most successful social engineering projects in human history. A project so deeply embedded in modern life that most people never question it. We're talking about the modern school system, where it actually came from, who actually designed it, and more importantly, why. This is the story of the Prussian blueprint. The year is 1806. The place, Jena, a small city in what is now Germany. Napoleon Bonaparte's French army does something that shocks the entire European continent. They destroy the Prussian military in a single afternoon. The Battle of Jena is not just a military defeat, it is a humiliation. The Prussian army collapses so completely, so catastrophically, that historians still study it today. Within weeks, Napoleon marches into Berlin. The Prussian state, once a symbol of order and power, is brought to its knees. Prussia's ruling class is forced to ask a brutal question. What went wrong? Their answer was not just about weapons or tactics. It was about the people. The soldiers had not believed in what they were fighting for. They had not thought for themselves when the battlefield demanded it, and the citizens lacked the kind of unified national identity that could sustain a war effort. Prussia needed a new kind of citizen. Not a thinker, not a philosopher, not a free individual. They needed someone who would show up, follow instructions, sacrifice personal ambition for the collective, and not ask too many questions. And they decided to build that person from childhood. Enter Johann Gottlieb Fichte, philosopher, nationalist, and the intellectual architect of what would become compulsory mass education. In 1807 and 1808, Fichte delivers a series of lectures in occupied Berlin called Addresses to the German Nation. In them, he lays out a chilling vision. He argues that the old education that develops individual will, individual character, individual judgment, is dangerous. It must be replaced by a new education, one that doesn't strengthen the self, but dissolves it, one that trains obedience as a reflex. The Prussian state listens. By 1819, Prussia has mandatory schooling, one of the first nations in the world to do so. But this isn't school as a gift to children. This is school as a tool of the state. Look at what they designed. Children are placed in rows, not circles, not clusters, rows, like factory workers at stations. A bell rings to start the lesson. A bell rings to end it. Children are not asked what they're curious about. They're told what to learn, when to learn it, and for exactly how long. They're sorted into grades by age, not by ability or interest. They're evaluated by standardized tests designed not to measure understanding, but to sort and rank. And here's what's most important. The curriculum itself is carefully divided into isolated subjects. Math over here, history over there, language in this box. Deliberately fragmented so that students would struggle to connect ideas into a coherent, critical worldview. This was not accidental. This was engineering. The Prussian system had one guiding principle baked into every layer of its design. Compliance is the product. Now, here's where the story gets closer to home, especially if you grew up in the United States or in any country that modeled its education after America. In the 1840s, a Massachusetts education reformer named Horace Mann travels to Prussia, and he comes back absolutely dazzled. He writes glowing reports about the Prussian school system, its efficiency, its order, its ability to produce uniform, disciplined citizens. He begins advocating loudly for America to adopt the Prussian model. At first, there's resistance. America had a different tradition, a more decentralized, individualistic approach to education. But then, something shifts. The Industrial Revolution arrives in full force. Factories multiply, cities swell, and the wealthiest industrialists in America, men like John D. Rockefeller and Andrew Carnegie, realize something powerful. They don't just need machines, they need workers, reliable workers, punctual workers, workers who will show up every day, follow instructions without complaining, tolerate monotony without going mad, and never think to ask whether there might be a better way. And the Prussian school system is the perfect machine for producing exactly those workers. Rockefeller's General Education Board, founded in 1902, funds the transformation of American schooling with staggering resources. Carnegie does the same. Their language is, at times, almost shockingly transparent. In a 1906 document, the General Education Board states its purpose: not to produce great thinkers or independent citizens, but to produce people who perform specific functions in the larger social machinery. These men didn't want competition. They wanted compliant consumers and reliable laborers. And so they funded a system that would manufacture them generation after generation. Now let's bring this forward. Let's talk about you. Think about the students you remember from school who were labeled problems. The kid who couldn't sit still. The one who kept asking why instead of just memorizing the answer. The one who drew pictures when they were supposed to be taking notes. The one who argued with the teacher, not out of disrespect, but out of genuine disagreement. What happened to those kids? In most cases, they were punished, sent to the principal, given low grades for attitude, diagnosed with disorders, made to feel that something was wrong with them, that their curiosity, their energy, their refusal to conform was a deficiency rather than an asset. Now think about the students who were rewarded, the ones who memorized the textbook, who regurgitated the right answers on the right tests, who raised their hand only when they knew the answer the teacher was looking for, who learned, above all else, to sit still and follow instructions. Those students were called smart. They were given gold stars and scholarships and letters of recommendation. But here is the terrifying question: smart for what purpose? The system doesn't reward intelligence. It rewards obedience. It doesn't develop your potential. It channels your potential into a predetermined shape, a shape that was designed not by educators, but by industrialists more than a century ago. And the cost of this is staggering. We live in a world of breathtaking creative and intellectual potential where millions of people spend their lives convinced they're not smart, because they didn't fit a mold that was never designed to fit them in the first place. Here's something most people don't know. There was a different tradition. Before the factory model took over, there was something called liberal arts education. And I don't mean liberal in the political sense. The word comes from the Latin liber, meaning free. Liberal arts education was education for free people. It taught you how to think, how to argue, how to read the world critically. It assumed you were a full human being with a mind worth cultivating, not a function to be filled in the social machine. That tradition didn't disappear because it failed. It was replaced, deliberately, systematically, and with enormous amounts of money. Because it produced exactly the kind of citizen that industrial powers found inconvenient. Curious people ask too many questions. Critical thinkers challenge the status quo. Creative minds don't follow instructions well. The Prussian blueprint solved that problem. It produced people who are easier to manage, who accept the rules without demanding to know why the rules exist, who measure their own worth by grades and credentials handed to them by institutions they were never taught to question. So where does that leave us? I want to be clear. This is not an argument that teachers are bad people or that schools have produced nothing of value. There are extraordinary teachers doing extraordinary work within a broken system every single day. This is about the structure, the design, the intention behind the machine. The machine was built for compliance, and until we name that clearly, until we look it in the eye and say this is what you are, we cannot begin to imagine what education could look like if it were designed for something else entirely. Imagine a school designed to produce curious people, to develop judgment and creativity and the capacity to sit with uncertainty, to teach children that the most important questions are the ones that don't have easy answers. That school exists, in small pockets, in radical experiments. In the philosophy of people like John Taylor Gatto, who gave up a prestigious teaching career to blow the whistle on the very system that rewarded him. The question is whether we have the courage to demand it at scale. If this video opened a door for you, leave a comment. Tell me what part hit hardest, and if you know someone who spent their whole life thinking they weren't smart enough, share this with them. Because maybe they weren't failing the system. Maybe the system was failing them.